And we're live. Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NFL Fantasy Today show featuring my guest here, John Mozales. And we're going to go over some start-sit questions, some waiver wire dilemmas, a quick recap of the games that just happened on Thursday, and any questions that you have for your lineup. All right, so John, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Just, it's Sunday. It comes up fast, man. Summer flew by. I had a rugby sevens tournament yesterday. I'm still sore, still shaking out the
Let's go.
cobwebs, but I've been up for hours. I'm ready to go. Yeah, we got 2 games in the can already. There's a lot to take away, or maybe there's actually nothing to take away, and we're going to make the mistake of overreacting to week 1 like everyone does every
Yeah.
year.
Yep. Good for you, man. Man, like playing rugby or any sort of sport, or even changing my kid's diaper, I throw out my back. So, man, good for you, bro. So, shall we just jump right into it? Shall we get into the start-sit questions, or should we go over the games that just happened?
Let's talk Thursday. What just happened? It's fresh in the mind, right?
Okay.
Right. We got Thursday, Friday, that Eagles game. I think
Yep.
I already got a comment question here from Paul. How much are we panicking over Mark Andrews, and how much do you like Isaiah Likely? Right. That seems to be the talk of the Twitter, talk of the fantasy town.
Right.
Um, for me, I am almost always go stud tight end, so it's not as big an issue. But in our SportsEthos, or no, one of the leagues, I got Brock Bowers, and it's a waiver wire. I got number 2 priority. So would you use your number 2 priority to take Isaiah Likely if you don't have a stud tight end?
If I don't have a stud tight end, then I definitely would. Just because like tight ends are not dimes a dozen. Like you saw how many targets that Isaiah Likely had. Mark Andrews, for all intents and purposes, I think the Chiefs are an incredible defense. They can afford to have players on that side of the ball because Patrick Mahomes is making next to nothing compared to all these other quarterbacks who just got paid. So that defense is great, and they were bracketing Mark Andrews all game. And also, Mark Andrews was used as a left tackle essentially just because they needed his blocking abilities. So Isaiah Likely is more of a receiver, so he benefited greatly. I don't think we overreact too much to Mark Andrews. Now, you can't trade him because what would you trade him for, right? Like
Yeah.
his value is next to nothing. So you have to weather the storm and keep Andrews and just hope that last week was kind of an anomaly, but I would still, if you are a Mark Andrews manager, I would cover your bases with Likely and spend a high priority waiver on him. And as you said, John, if you don't have a tight end, absolutely give Likely a shot.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's true, right? Because the O line's a problem, so they're going to be 21 personnel a lot, especially with the Lamar's ADOT was so low, right? Likely might be the downfield threat. We saw him catch, that bomb, go downfield with a cut.
Right.
I mean, it just looks great, but I just, I feel like we do this every year. Someone has a great week 1, and it's just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then
Right.
week 2 it might flip. Andrews is 80, and likely he's got 2 for 16 again. Um,
Right. Right.
but I still think it's the most important question, right? Because waiver wire week 1, that's where the Puka Nakuas get, right? But
Right.
I think it's like we're only 2 games in, so like let's a couple comps for, let's say, for likely. Let's say James Conner gets hurt, right? Would you rather use your waiver on Trey Benson or Isaiah Likely?
If James Conner gets hurt, then I would probably go with Trey Benson just because well, it depends. It depends on your team needs,
Yeah,
but
no,
I
of
think
course, of course.
I think that running backs hold their value uh more value than the tight ends. So I would go for Trey Benson. And they spent a high draft pick on him. He's going to get a lot more usage. Likely's usage will probably be volatile week to week, even though he does have a safer floor after all those targets that he got. But I would definitely go for that stud RB in the wings over a tight end for sure.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, final thoughts. Yeah, Isaiah Likely used the priority, but also we still got a lot of games to play. But
Yes.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to take Likely. I'm going to overreact to week 1. I'm going
That's fine.
to, I'm going to. What do they say? Do those who can't do teach?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like you don't want to miss out on the Isaiah Likely experience if week 1 was not an anomaly. I think that Mark Andrews will be much more involved next week and going forward. They're going to prioritize him, but Likely is very much a part of this, a part of that offense. So I think both can flourish and give you good weeks, but it might be maddening for fantasy managers.
Okay. I had another question up here too. Well, I guess we'll get to it in a bit. So let's just move on to the next game, right? We got the Packers Eagles. Another great game. It
Yep.
looked like it was going to be brutal early, right? Saquon
Right.
tripped on his first two plays. Everyone was slipping. But the big takeaway: Jordan Love out. How does for you? How do you downgrade now the receivers, and then do you move up Malik Willis at all?
Uh, the Packers wide receiver core is definitely downgraded like massively. I don't trust Malik Willis at all to deliver the ball to Jaden Reed, Christian Watson. I feel like he's probably going to lean on the tight ends and the running back, like Josh Jacobs and Marshawn Lloyd when he comes back. Lloyd was inactive last week, but next week, if he plays and moving forward, I think that he's going to be a sneaky PPR play because Malik Willis is not a great passer. He's a good runner. So, if you're in a very deep super flex league and you're desperate, absolutely give him a shot because he at least has a safe floor of maybe 10 fantasy points, with maybe upside if he gets lucky. Like there isn't a super flex league where Malik Willis should not be rostered now. But if I'm a Jaden Reed manager, which I am in one league, and a Christian Watson manager, I don't have high hopes. I am significantly capping their upside. What about you,
So,
Dylan?
so are we panicking though? Like I got Christian Watson in my big money league. I reached for him, right? He got the touchdown, but the snap count wasn't great. The target share wasn't great. I didn't see any much downfield, air yards. And now
Mhm.
it's going to get even worse, right? You can't really trade him, but I mean,
Right.
I'm not starting Christian Watson next week, right? Are you
No,
starting Jaden Reed after
n-
his monster?
Jaden Reed does get handoffs and stuff like that, which is nice that they give him some manufactured touches. So he's still available to start. Like he'll still give you those stats, but I wouldn't expect any boom weeks. Like last week, Jaden Reed got a 70-yard plus touchdown. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that all the defenses are going to key on Malik Willis's weaknesses, which is, like uh, you know, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but he's just not very good at football. Like he's just mobile. I think he's a competent backup you know, who can try to manage the game. But, as far as his arm goes, I'm willing to just step back and let this week take place and see if Malik Willis has progressed any because you never know. It's just that what he showed us in Tennessee over those first few starts are not very promising. There wasn't any real potential there. Um, and he is on a much better team with a much better offense and defense. But outside of super flex and just very deep leagues, I would definitely look to bench all of your Packers players except for Josh Jacobs next week just to see how it pans out.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. All right, we got a couple
Yeah.
questions here. I just want to let's just wrap up this quick Eagles game.
Let's do it.
What do we got? So Hurts, going to be okay. I don't think he's going to be rushing the ball much. AJ Monster, Devontae Monster, Barkley. Do you sell high on Barkley? Do you try and trade for Christian McCaffrey? Like, what do you do? Or you just count your chickens?
I don't know, just because, like Christian McCaffrey, he's dealing with an ankle Achilles calf injury. It's a little
Oh,
bit, like it's a little bit upsetting as a manager, even though CMC says that he is definitely playing, he's good to go. So despite the questionable tag, it sounds like he's going to go, but I'd be a little bit nervous. So if I have Barkley, and we know that he's healthy and he's a part of a powerhouse offense. Jalen Hurts didn't look fantastic on Friday. Like he kind of looked in the way that he did towards the end of last season, which was kind of inaccurate, making interesting decisions to say the least. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying I think the Eagles are going to lean on Barkley a lot. So after what I saw from Barkley, I would be hard pressed to trade him.
yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay, we're gonna move to some questions. So there's one I somehow hit it, but it was Rome Odunze or Brian Thomas Jr. For me, I think they're pretty close. But you got to go. You got to lean Odunze just slightly more, right? You're going matchup QB, target share. But I think Thomas maybe might eclipse him by the end. But you got to start Odunze in game one.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's tough to trust any of the Bears wide receivers. But I like, I don't like it, but Keenan Allen is hurt and his snaps will be limited today. There was a question on if he was going to play or not, which would greatly impact Rome Odunze's ceiling if Allen wasn't there. But I do think that Allen gets, or Odunze gets like 6 to 7 targets is his floor, with room for more. So I would go with Odunze as well, because we just don't know if Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be a focal point in this offense yet with, Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. I would rather sit on Brian Thomas Jr. I think just Rome Odunze just has a safer floor. So I'd go that route.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer. I just like when I bench a rookie and if he blows up, I'm not even upset because I get the rest of the
Yeah.
season. I just want to remind we're gonna have shows every Sunday. We're also gonna have a Thursday, a little preview, a little recap of the action waiver wire. We're just gonna cover everything all the time. All right, we're gonna keep moving on because we're getting some questions. This is great. We got Eddie Soto. We got Chuba Swift. Oh, I guess it's gonna be Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift, or Lad McConkey PPR. Okay, I figured that out. Usually PPR, it's good to get the info, but generally, give us as much info as possible, right? 2 wide receiver,
Right.
3 wide receiver, team size, team league, it all helps. But Jacob, I'm going to think about this while you answer.
I'm actually going to ride with Swift. I'm a Swift believer. I know that, there's a lot of mouths to feed on the Chicago Bears offense. But I just think that right now in week 1, we don't really there's going to be lots of surprises in week 1 that we're not going to see right now. It's like, whoa, like Miles Sanders took over this backfield. We had no idea, I'm still playing Chuba if I have him and I don't have better options. It's like, he's just a volatile low end RB2 to flex option. But anything can happen in week 1. I would just stay safe and I would go with Swift. Now it's definitely tempting to go with Lad here for the Chargers, just because there's not many talented wide receivers on the Chargers, even though I do think that Josh Palmer surprises and gets like 8 to 9 targets. But I'm just going to go with the safer option here in DeAndre Swift. Hope he gets about 12 carries, maybe like 4 to 5 targets, he's a great pass catching back. So in PPR, that's where I lean towards.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fair. And it's my whole thing. I'm always floor ceiling, right?
Yeah.
And I think as we've seen too with this unproven, untested wide receiver rooms, nobody knows, right? And the Packers,
Right.
I thought Christian Watson was going to emerge wide receiver 1, and no, Jaden Reed is the only wide receiver, right? Dontavian
Right.
Wicks, everyone was bigging up, he did nothing. So Ladd might be great. He's got a high ceiling. Maybe he's Herbert's favorite target. Maybe he scores 2 TDs. Maybe he's barely on the field and Quentin Johnson makes the leap. Nobody knows, right?
Right.
Swift, again, crowded running back room. It's tough. You got to go matchup based, I think. But Titans run D's kind of historically been pretty good. But I'd probably go with I'd go with Swift, but I'd also want to see what my other wide receivers are, right? Who am I starting Lad over, or if it's in a flex spot, I guess. Yeah, I'd go Swift by a nail. Okay, let's keep moving on here. Boom, we got questions. Okay, William Silver. My team is loaded at receiver. Puka and Garrett top 2. Okay, it is loaded.
Excellent.
Good start. But I can't choose my flex. My options include Chris Godwin, Khalil Shakir, Jameson Williams. Wow, thoughts. Okay. Again, I'm gonna let you take it while I ponder it because these are tough.
Yeah. So just a heads up, if we don't see the scoring format, I'm going to automatically assume it's a half PPR and just go with the
Split the baby.
Yeah, exactly. Split the baby. So out of Chris Godwin, Shakir, and Jameson Williams, I think this is another safe floor play, but it's Chris Godwin.
Full
he
PPR.
has a great. What's that? It's full PPR. Well, then that even strengthens my Chris Godwin take, just because Chris Godwin just has a super safe floor. He's facing a very passable Washington defense, worst in the league last season. So I think that he gets a lot of touches. I think he does well today. Like Baker Mayfield is going to have a good day. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rachaad White. This is an offense that I want pieces of today. And as much potential as Khalil Shakir has, and I am very high on Jameson Williams this year, I do recognize that Williams does carry a boom or bust tag going into this game until we get proven otherwise, So if you need that incredible upside, I'm not trying to, go back on my Chris Godwin take. I'm just saying, like, if you are projected to lose and you need that possible boon upside, I would go Jameson Williams. But in every other case, 99% of the time, I'm going with Chris Godwin in that safe floor, especially in a PPR league.
I like that, but the one thing you should check is the weather, because there could be in Tampa, there could be some big storms, right? Just that 4 o'clock game. So Shakir, if you got to make that decision, it's for the one. Jameson, you got the night game, so I don't mind maybe waiting Godwin Williams to see. But I was big Jameson last year. I just don't really see it. I think he's going to be kind of like the Xavier Worthy, right? He'll get 3 targets, but if he catches 2, one's going to be 40 yards and probably a touchdown.
Right.
Godwin's supposed to be healthy, right? PPR. I mean, all he does is get these little over the middle 5-6 yard routes, which stack the points. I think Shakir's got a huge ceiling. He could be the number one option on that team, but I know Zona's pretty good defending the slot, so there might not be a lot of target volume. Plus, it's going to be windy. And Zona is terrible against the run. I expect them to just be pounding James Cook and Josh Allen all day. So I would probably take Shakir out and then go Godwin, Jameson, and check the weather at 4 o'clock and see if it's going to be crazy thunderstorms or not. And then pivot to Jameson. And also, I was to say, this night game is going to be a banger. You want everyone involved. So I'd say normal circumstances, good Godwin, but maybe for this night game, maybe you go Jameson Williams and you're just hoping for that nice Hail Mary late Sunday night.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
I love that you brought up the weather. I know that we have an elite meteorologist on our staff, right?
We got the weather guy. We got a weather guy.
We do. Yeah.
Larry Vinozzi. Check him out.
Yes, absolutely. A retired meteorologist, right? For like 20 years. I mean, like, I just joined. That's why like I'm asking. I haven't formally met him, but like I was pumped when I heard that, because that is truly valuable. It's not just valuable for kickers to know the weather, but for all of your pass catchers, because like last year, Cleveland Browns are good for a game or two where the winds are like 50 miles an hour. There's no way you're playing Cooper. There's no way you're playing your studs.
I lost like $500 in that week 1 game because of the wind. I didn't check the weather.
Well, right. See? Yeah. So we got your back here. We have a professional meteorologist that is waiting to save you and to make you money and to not lose that $500 again. That's a bummer, John.
That's fair. Yeah. And I'm a weather guy. And then I was like, no, I'm sure it'll be fine. And then swirling wind, everything. That killed me. Okay, let's keep going. This is we're flying through. Okay, Next question. We got Ryan, GM. Okay, good start. Down big already. Not great. What a roller coaster this is. Okay, pick one, please. Taysom Hill, Brian Thomas Jr., Rome Odunze, Rico Dowdle, James Conner, Chase Brown, Terry McLaurin, standard scoring. Pick one. Okay.
Okay.
Let's rank them maybe top 3.
Yeah. I think we can do that. And I think we can safely put James Conner and Terry McLaurin. At least I can just say that outright. Those are my top picks: James Conner and Terry McLaurin. Now, one thing, I was talking to John a few days ago because we just love to cut it up even on our off time with football. And as much as I love Jaden Daniels this week, and for the rest of the year, I do recognize that Jaden Daniels is a rookie. We haven't seen him apart from a few like preseason games, so we don't really know what we have in him yet, even though I have confidence and my gut tells me he's going to ball out. He's going to rush crazy yards. It's just that if I have an option like James Conner, I only need to pick one, and I'm picking just a safe floor guy with upside, with receiving upside, and especially in a standard where, like the more touches that you get is more valuable. I'm going with James Conner over Terry, Scary Terry.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. Let's rule out the rookie wide receivers, right? Because they're just too boom busty.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle, I think, is going to be great, and it might end up leading them in carries, but I don't really want, running back with that O-line in Cleveland, so he's out. Chase Brown, right? Probably going to be great, but probably not getting the carries over Zach Moss early, especially the Pats D was elite against the run, so he's out. So for me, it comes down to because down big kind of like shook me cobweb. So it's like down big. I don't know if McLaurin number one target great, but Taysom Hill was kind of just like jumping out at me.
Okay.
Just says down big, if you need 20 points, you need a miracle shot. He might be their goal line back. He's the gadget plays. He could throw one. But I agree. You can't not start James Conner. I don't think the Bills are going to be great against the D, windy conditions. The only fear is that spread's like 6.5. If the Bills go up early, Cardinals got to pivot to to catch up points. And then, their Connor's not really getting the rushes. But I'd say I can almost pseudo guarantee there's going to be a point. They're going to be inside the 10 a couple times. They're going to hand it off to Connor, and he is a big bruising back. So I think James Conner, no matter what.
Yeah. Just because Connor, is a safe floor, we can easily see him getting 100 yards and 2 touchdowns this game.
But this guy needs ceiling, right? This guy's chasing ceiling, not floor. He's looking for the penthouse, not the basement. But I think Connor's still. I mean, he's 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, totally on the table.
Absolutely.
So boom. Oh, yeah, man, I like these. These are great. Okay, boom. Okay. Anthony, what up? Where you at, Anthony? You're supposed to be with us.
No, come on, Anthony. Week 2, baby.
Y'all trusting J.K. Dobbins today? Yes.
How many teams is this league? Like, what do you think, John?
I'm trusting him, right? All we hear all summer is, we're going to run. Right? Gus Bus not really in the passing game. So let's say Dobbins in there. Maybe they're splitting carries, but we get Dobbins and, third down, long, second and long, whatever. They're going to pound it. We know they're going to pound it. Everyone's talking about pounding it. I don't think Harbaugh's like pulling a Coach Fox here and, saying he's going to pound it and then air it out, right? So Dobbins is explosive. You might only get 4 games out of him. He's never going to be healthier. If you drafted him, you're starting him today just because the fuse is going to be short. Right.
Yeah. I'm with you. I love all these reports coming out that he looks
explosive.
Exactly. That's a word that people love to use. He looks explosive, which I assume he just looks the way that he looked before the injury, which is great news. So trusting him is a very loaded word because I would love to see other options, Anthony. Like, is he, is this a deep league and like you have to take your shot? I love him as a dart throw or like what the heck flex. It's like, hey, I have no other options. And J.K. Dobbins does have this upside. He looks explosive, so, I would love to see your other options. But since we don't have that, as far as trusting J.K. Dobbins, I don't fully trust him. Truth, I want to. I have him in a very deep dynasty league, but I'm not starting him. He's not anywhere near my starting lineup until I see how explosive he looks and how he fits into this Jim Harbaugh offense, which I'm sure he'll fit in swimmingly. It's just that he is sharing with Gus Edwards, and I'm sure that Kamani Vidal is going to get some carries too. But if J.K. Dobbins can be efficient with his 10 carries, if he gets 10 to 12 carries, this is a deep league, then I think you can bank on like 40 yards or so, and maybe you get lucky with a breakaway touchdown. He is my definition of what the heck? I'll throw him in my flex and see what happens.
Oh, yeah. I don't trust him. I trust him like when Bitcoin crashes and I'm going to buy the dip. That's the level of trust I have. But yeah, Anthony chimes in. He's got Ramondre, Stevenson, Chase Brown, Christian Kirk as other options. 12 teams, so not deep. 2 flex, half PPR. I would probably put Dobbins at the bottom of that. It's a Ramondre Kirk top tier, Chase and Dobbins, so maybe if it's a fun league, I'll start Dobbins just for kicks if I'm watching that game. But I don't. You got to start Christian Kirk, right?
I'm with you there. Absolutely, start Kirk.
Dolphins secondary. Ramsey's out. As long as the weather's supposed to be beautiful. Give me Christian Kirk all day.
Give me all the pieces in that game because you know that the Dolphins are going to run up the score, which means that Trevor Lawrence is going to have to throw. So yeah, I would definitely go with Kirk. And like you said, John, I'll stick Dobbins at the bottom there.
I mean, run up the score. I kind of got the Jags to win today, so
I love that. That's great.
Okay, this is my boy Fabio. Sherman in. Hopefully, we're not in the same league. But we got Spears, Tyjae Spears, Tennessee running back, or Brian Thomas Jr. A lot of Brian Thomas Jr. today. He is he's the talk of the ether.
Guess so.
So Tyjae Spears or Brian Thomas Jr. in flex. Let's see. We'll Tennessee Spear. I would. That's tough. That is really, really, really tough. I'd probably have to know PPR or not, but I'd probably go with the Magic Beans. I'd go Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay.
Explosive in summer. I love Tyjae Spears, but I think Pollard's going to be getting, the first rep carries and probably the passing down work. So Spears is going to only get 6-7 carries, I'd say. Thomas only has to catch a big one. I'm starting the rookie.
I'm with you here. I feel like we've said no to Brian Thomas Jr. probably like 5 times. So now I feel bad and I need to pick. No. I'm just playing.
Next question, Brian Thomas Jr. He's like, why are you benching me?
Yeah, right. Right. I mean, they're facing the Dolphins. And like you said, there is no Ramsey. So, I mean, like he's going to get their, like CB3 or 4 on him. I think that's going to make for a lot of upside, and I just don't trust Tyjae Spears. I trust Tony Pollard a lot more right now. They keep saying it's a 50-50 split in Tennessee. All the beat reporters, like everyone, like they're not budging, like it's going to be a 50-50 split, which is wonderful, but I would rather see it pan out, and I would rather go with the upside in the rookie. Like you said, he does look explosive. That we can surmise by all the highlights and the preseason action. He just looks good. I think that Trevor Lawrence loves him. So in a game where they are going to have to keep up and score against the Dolphins, I think I want a piece of that offense right here because I just don't trust Tyjae Spears this week.
Yeah, but let's even pivot to rest of the season. Who would you rather have? Because I love Tyjae Spears, but I love Brian Thomas Jr. Right?
Yeah.
Backup running backs. That's what I make. That's my favorite thing to have. But then, Puka with rookie wide receivers is changed the game. So, rest of the season, who are you taking?
I think I'm going with you with Spears just because if it is a 50-50 split, that's nice flex weekly value. But then if anything happens to Pollard, he's an RB1, no question, So it's that handcuff ability, but it's also he does have skill. I did like what I saw from him last season, and I think that Spears is more of a between the tackles back than Pollard is. So I think he will get that. He'll probably get those goal line touches if they're at the 1. I'm not sure. I want to see it happen first, which is why I would roll with Thomas Jr. Today, but I think I would go Spears rest of the season for potential value and just a weekly flex floor.
Okay, I think I'm going Brian Thomas the rest of the season, but again, it depends if I want wide receivers, running backs, what I'm stacked at. But I'd rather invest in the Jags than the Titans. That's probably what it comes down to for me. We got some potential breaking news from our guy. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Yoel Abula, right? I think he's the wager pass guy, right? He's making us all money. I try and check wager pass before I make my bets, but sometimes I forget, and then hopefully they're reconfirmed. But anyways, he goes, how do we feel about Tyreek Hill getting handcuffed while heading to the stadium? I do not have any breaking news on this. I haven't been able to check Twitter. I'm kind of freaking out. Luckily, you check it out while I spitball. I don't want to, is it a paternity suit? Handcuffed? They gotta let him go. It's Florida, right? There's no chance. He's probably handcuffed and then released and I shouldn't talk bad about Florida.
All right, so
you got it.
So Adam Schefter said that Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill was detained by police today entering the stadium for a driving violation per his agent Drew Rosenhaus. But Rosenhaus said Hill will play today.
Okay.
We don't know if Drew Rosenhaus is just having some some rose-colored glasses, thinking like there's no way that my star wide receiver, like the Dolphins aren't going to let him play, or if he truly knows. I'm not panicking until, there's a question 10 minutes up to kickoff. So definitely set your alarms, refresh your feed, because that's huge. Because if Hill's out, we have to upgrade Jalen Waddle. We have to upgrade all the other Dolphins pass catchers, like Jonnu Smith might get,
and Devin Achane too. Everyone gets a bump. Tua gets a downgrade. Right? It's upside down world.
This is insane. My gosh.
Yeah. And William Silver, we didn't skip your question. We just wanted to break that Tyreek Hill news. We're going to get to it. We'll spend some extra time because
Yeah.
you feel like you feel neglected. But so Tyreek Hill's going to play. Is it really going to affect him? Probably not. Jag secondary's gross. I think his prop line's 97.5. I bet the over. I think you just always bet Tyreek Hill, especially week one. I mean, I think first play of the season last year, he had like 70-yard touchdown.
He did.
Right?
He did.
He's crazy. Okay, William Silver, we are back to you. You are our main focus. Okay, 12-man league, full PPR. Thank you. Super helpful. My team's abysmal at tailback. Mixon RB1. That is bad. I'm down on Mixon too. But I can't choose an RB2. Okay, my option. Oh, no, it's not abysmal. You just RB1's abysmal. I like your depth. You kind of went zero RB. I love this depth. Dobbins, Pollard, Spears, and Hubbard. I mean, that's great. That's what you want for running back, right? Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of dart throws. Okay, so let's go. So we got Hubbard, Saints. Rundy's usually pretty good, but volume's gonna be safe. And then we got Spears, Pollard, coin flip. Dobbins, Pollard, Spears. I'm gonna matchup base. I think Bears were great against the rush, right? Last year it was the second, right? So then we got Dobbins. We got against the Raiders, who secondary is a little sketchy, but their D's going to be good rushing the passer. But they're probably. I'm going Dobbins.
Wow, really?
Okay. I am.
You're taking a shot.
I am. I mean, you got the Pollard Spears, so it's like I don't mind just sitting on both and just waiting to see which one emerges. And then I can play that guy because I just don't want to choose wrong. And I just so far this year I've been choosing wrong. So I'd rather just delay that decision. I know Dobbins got bust, but Dobbins explosive. It's just I got him. I'm gonna get 4 weeks out of him. I don't want to miss a week.
Right. Yeah. So I respect that. I respect that if you were gonna take a shot on Dobbins, like this is probably the healthiest he'll ever be with that Achilles right now. And like he could break one if he is explosive. I would just, if I have the option of either a Pollard or a Hubbard, I would just lean that way until I see Dobbins in game action. I don't know when's the last time he actually played in an NFL game. So I'm just going to err on the side of caution here. And I'm going to go with Chuba Hubbard. I know that he has a tough matchup in New Orleans. He's just guaranteed those touches. And like I said earlier, there's a chance that Miles Sanders comes up and steals some carries, but he looked bad last year. Miles Sanders looked terrible. He got that contract, he got paid, and he laid down. It's just it's incredible. So Chuba Hubbard to me, very safe play, but I think that he gets a lot of touches this week. He's, and he could find the end zone, but I could see him at the very least getting you in a full PPR, probably like 10 fantasy points, which is what you want in an RB2. With Mixon as your RB1, that's very safe. Hubbard's safe. That's just a safe running back room. And like you said, until I see Pollard and Spears how they shake out, and plus they have a pretty difficult matchup against Chicago. I'll lean Chuba Hubbard here because if I have that option, I'll go with Hubbard just as purely safety.
And we probably got to point out that I think Jacob's more of a floor guy, and when I'm probably more of a ceiling guy. I like to live in the penthouse. I like the view. Jacob's worried about earthquakes. He's in the basement. No,
I am.
But I draft for floor and then play ceiling. But yeah,
I respect that.
And then Dobbins. But 2 years ago, end of the season, he came back from meniscus mid-season, and he averaged 7 yards a carry the last 4 or 5 games. So it's we know he's got it in him. Right, O-line opportunity. So, but he is magic beans. All right, William Silver. I hope we gave your question enough. Hope you got a good answer. So I'd say between Dobbins and Hubbard, floor, ceiling, go Dobbins, floor, go Hubbard. Boom, can't go wrong. Okay, these are my kind of questions. Steve Friday, my man. I don't know who you are, but Kyle.
Steve, that's my boy. What's up,
Steve?
Steve?
It is. Yeah. Okay, Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy? The eternal question. All right, Jay, take it away. Hit me.
This is pretty easy for me because I don't like Brock Purdy's matchup. I think it's a very tough matchup, even if he's at home, which he is in San Francisco. Brock Purdy just has a very difficult matchup. He has a much more difficult matchup than Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray looked great at the end of last season. He's fully healthy. He has Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that he's going to have to throw to keep up. with Josh Allen and the Bills. I just think he's in an incredible situation here. He has that quarterback one potential where Brock Purdy with Brandon Ayuk just signing that contract, he's not going to play his full complement of snaps.
Mhm.
All right. Head coach Kyle Shanahan already said that he would be shocked if he saw his full amount of snaps, which is kind of scary for me. I actually I downgraded Ayuk just because of the matchup one and because of those comments. I have a viable backup for Ayuk to put him in. So I'm just a little bit lower on Brock Purdy. I think he's my quarterback 16, and Kyler Murray is in my top 8. So I really have high hopes for Murray and his rushing ability.
Okay, yeah. So that's great. So yeah, quickly, Jacob did our QB ranks for the week. He's got 1 to 32
Mhm.
matched up. So you got questions like this, definitely check those out. We also got running
Yeah.
back rankings, tight end rankings, wide receiver, defense. We got it all ranked. And then also maybe if you got one where it's really tight, you can go check out Brian Shade's projection model. Right? He's got this target share, snap share. He's got the depth charts broken down to percentages of how many carry snaps are going to get and yards per carry. He's got it all. So that's a good way if you want to go numbers guy versus gut, because obviously if you go analytically, more often than not, it's going to pay off. Right? Unless your gut
Mhm.
is truly great, then you get to come on the show and you get to tell us what to do.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
but for me, yeah, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy. I mean, I don't think Kyler's kind of in the Jalen Hurts mold now, where he's a running QB who doesn't really run that much. So I don't think he's gonna, get the running yards. Maybe he'll score one, but the wind, I do worry about that. But realistically, Marvin Harrison Jr. season, I
Yeah.
think count him for 100, count
Yeah.
McBride for 50, couple
Right.
TDs.
Right.
I think that Jets, yeah, San Fran game could be like 17-14. I think there's going
Right.
to be crazy hits, concussions. It's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be a great game, but it's not. It's going to be one where you just want your fantasy guys to survive, not thrive.
Right. 100%.
Right? Okay, let's keep going. Boom. So we
Thanks,
covered
Steve.
Tyreek. Huh? Oh, Steve. Yeah. What up, Steve? Okay, we covered the Tyreek kind of. Jesus, that was scary, right? Without
Oh
the
my gosh.
context.
My stomach dropped, man.
I bet his
Goodness.
adjusted yards. I bet his yards. I mean,
Oh
give me
no.
all the Tyreek Hill versus Jacksonville. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Seriously. Seriously.
Okay.
He is a locked in wide receiver one. Should finish as wide receiver one this week. The only thing stopping him are those handcuffs.
Even then, I'm not.
I know, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna move to Armani. Should I start Jaden? Ooh, this is good. Should I start Jaden Daniels or Justin Fields? Finally, now we're getting to the nitty gritty.
We're getting into it.
So for me, I'm thinking I'm just a weather guy. I'm worried that rookie, playing Tampa, no O line. If it's raining, obviously he's going to run, but I'm worried about fumbles. I don't think he's going to get the passing. I just think it's going to be a mess. Justin Fields, right, playing in Atlanta. Atlanta, I think their secondary is good, but they couldn't stop the run last year, right? So I think Fields is going to be running rampant. I don't know how many first team reps he's got. They don't have the wide receivers. I was looking for Justin Field rush props all day, and I still haven't found them. If anyone can see some props, let me know what they are. I'd say what's his yards? Probably 36.5. That's my bet.
Probably.
So I think rushing yards are both going to be fine. I see Daniels maybe a little turnover prone. They each got one wide receiver, but I'd rather throw to Pickens in no rain than Terry McLaurin in a storm.
Hey, I respect
Oh,
that. I respect that a lot. So in my deep dynasty league, I have these guys going as my 2 starting quarterbacks. So like I'm feeling great about the
nice.
rushing upside, right? It's just that I just think I have more faith in Jaden Daniels than you right now, John, and I get it. We haven't seen it, so like it's not like the firmest of foundations that I have towards Jaden Daniels. I just think that that Washington Commanders defense is that bad that Jaden Daniels, even if he's not good, if in some world he's not a good passer or like he's not a good pro, he's going to run. He's going to run amok. He's going to run all over the Buccaneers. I can see him getting 70 yards and a possible touchdown on the ground. Like I just think he has that much upside. Justin Fields, I am still a fan of. I think I just redid my rankings a little bit. I moved Jaden Daniels from 10 to about 8. Justin Fields probably is around like 15 or 14 or so for me, just to be safe. He does have that quarterback one upside. I'm not saying that he doesn't. This is a very good question, Armani.
It's a
I
great
would just
question.
Yeah, but I just lean Jaden Daniels just because I think because he has a worse defense, he's going to be forced to run, to scramble, to throw all game long. So I just think he has a very nice floor and incredible upside.
Okay. Is this okay that we disagree? Because the guy gives
Oh
us
yeah,
the guy
yeah,
goes
yeah,
one or
absolutely.
the other, and I pick one, you pick the other.
Hey,
But
it's
yeah,
gonna happen, man.
I just think situationally, yeah, I just lean Fields just because I think the Commanders' O line terrifies me. Right,
Mhm.
Tampa's D line is always pretty stout. I know they lost
Fair.
Devin White, but I think they've been. No, I think they were bad against running quarterbacks. I think they got crushed last year, actually. But
That bodes well.
I think yeah, no, it's super close. I love Daniels rest of the season, but I just a Fields guy, I guess.
Oh,
But it's just the weather. I guess,
okay.
once bitten, twice shy. I'm so
Yeah,
worried about the bad weather. But that could
yeah,
even lean Daniel's favor, right? He'd just be
right.
tails be taken off. But
Exactly.
um, I think, yeah, if the weather clears up by 4 o'clock, it's fine, Daniels. But you don't really have time because Fields plays in the 1 o'clock game, so
All
you got
right,
to make
right.
that
Okay.
decision. But you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna lean. Jacob does the QB rankings. I'm gonna switch it. Jaden Daniels. There we
Jaden
go.
Daniels, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go,
Okay.
rookie.
Okay, Joe Phelan. I'm gonna be bad at this forever. Okay, I love how many questions we're getting. This is great.
I
I was
love it,
just
man.
gonna talk about my fantasy teams.
Seriously, this is great.
All right, flex one full PPR. T Thomas. Why isn't that not who is that?
T. Thomas, interesting. Let's see, who would be T. Thomas?
This could be a
We
fun
got
game
Brian
too.
Thomas. We get Brian Thomas is like the only one that'll come up as far
Okay,
as like
hope
Thomas goes.
B,
Interesting.
B, is B near T? No. Okay, well let's just ignore Thomas till we figure it out.
Yeah,
We got Josh Palmer or my guy JSN. I try not to pronounce his last name. I think
Smith
it
and
is.
Jigba, Jackson
I,
Smith and Jigba.
it is a no-brainer for me. Oh, this could be us. This is ceiling floor again. Um,
Yeah.
it is peak JSN season. I love him. I will start him. I will bet him. I will smash him. I will
Hmm.
do everything humanly possible to put all my chips in the JSN bandwagon. Tyler Lockett will be playing, but he's questionable. I think he's going to They're going to go 3 wide receiver sets. They're going to
Hmm.
put JSN crazy snap count. They're going to improve his A dot instead of just giving him little bubble screens. He is ready to explode. The only maybe thing is maybe DK supernovas, and that takes some of the shine off JSN. If DK goes like 150, there's only so much meat on the bone. Josh Palmer, probably safe floor, probably right, 7, 8 targets, probably get 5, 6 grabs, 60 yards,
Right.
maybe a touchdown.
Right. Yeah. So I am all aboard the JSN train this season too, and I think he has an incredible matchup. First of all, if you need the safest of floors, and you just need that guaranteed 8 points or something, it's Josh Palmer. But I wouldn't go that route. This is where I am going with upside with you, John. I'm gonna go with Jackson Smith and Jigba, baby. Like I like his matchup at home, one, and then he faces the Broncos. Now Patrick Surtain's going to be mirroring DK Metcalf, which
Oh yeah,
bodes well for JSN.
yes,
Um,
it does.
and the Broncos cornerback too is essentially a rookie. His name is Riley Moss.
Nice.
He's one of the three cornerbacks in the NFL that's starting that that is white. Like
Oh, he's that guy.
we're making history here. Yeah, like so as much as I love Riley Moss, it's possible that he's not ready, but the Broncos, all they have is him as a cornerback too. So if he's covering JSN, which he might not be because JSN plays mostly in the slot and Lockett plays on the outside, but Tyler Lockett isn't going to receive his full complement of snaps. He's going to be limited today, which bodes well for JSN's floor as well as his crazy upside because I feel like he hasn't been unleashed yet. And
Oh,
it's going to take Tyler Lockett taking some snaps off for us to see what JSN has. And I like the new head coach in Seattle. I think that he's going to prioritize getting the ball to Metcalf and to JSN. So I'm going for strictly upside here because Palmer has a safer floor for sure, but JSN just has a nice floor and incredible upside that I can't keep out of my lineup this week.
perfect. Unless this T Thomas is the super stud that we haven't heard of, we're going JSN.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know who T. It has to be Brian. I don't know, but
Right? Yeah.
we'll
I
see.
keep thinking Tim Thomas is going to basketball. It looks
Tim
like maybe shooting some
Thomas,
threes. I mean, I don't know.
last
Okay, we
one.
got questions. We only got about 15 minutes left, so we're gonna
Okay.
just try and power through here. Steve Fry does Steve. So we got Nicholas. That's almost a combo question. We got Jason Palmer, but we're adding Shakir. Shakir. I love this season. I don't love this matchup. I'd rather wait and see. Because I just think like for you to go over JSN for me, you got to be throwing Jalen Waddle at me, right? You got to be
Yeah.
throwing. I mean, DJ Moore, right? Keenan Allen or JSN. What are you doing? I'm still going JSN.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I'm still. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still going. I'm still going JSN as well. I just cannot ignore that upside, and I want to be a part of the JSN experience this season.
Yeah, I
You
was a
know,
part last year, and I waited in line for roller coaster, and then I
so
didn't
was
even get
I.
on.
So was
So
I. I think we were just a year too early, John.
yeah, but I'm stoked, right? It's reverse Price is Right. You can't go high enough for me.
That's right.
Okay, boom. Baby Stay Flow. Oh, right. Cool
Baby
name.
stay low.
Baby Stay Flow. Do we start Tua versus? I just love quarterback questions. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why. Start Tua
Same.
versus Jackson or Mayfield Washington. I mean, that's the easiest one in history for me. I get it. Mayfield Washington secondary garbage. Mike Evans going to go off, but Rashad White maybe a little too in the receiving game, but it's just like, I mean, if Tyreek's out, sure, start Baker. But I mean, as
Right.
long as Tyreek's got one hand free, that's secondary, right? Because a chain, right? He might get 2 touchdowns just in the receiving game. I think Tua's going like 350, 3 TDs today. I think we're
Mm-hmm.
going shootout, bangarang. I don't have any Tua in any leagues, but this is a game you want Tua.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like last season, Tua's first game, he finished as the quarterback one, and I believe he had over 40 fantasy points. He just went crazy because the
Yeah,
Dolphins
perfect.
love to start fast, start strong, and punch you in the mouth through the air. Like they're just like an aerial attack team.
The Street
And
Fighter flying uppercut.
that's right. That's right, man. Get some freaking Mortal Kombat up in here. Like that's what the Dolphins love to do. Like finish them. So yeah, I'm definitely starting Tua today. I have him as a quarterback one. I think he's quarterback 12 for me or 11. I just don't see a world where he doesn't shred this Jaguars defense secondary. Like you said, they're being held up by paper straws, and like it's just not a very talented secondary. So it's very exploitable. Tyreek Hill loves to exploit, and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle can just propel Tua to quarterback one numbers by themselves. Like he doesn't have to rush. He's going to throw for, like you said, 350 to 400 yards. So Tua is the smash play here.
And the Dolphins are front runners. We know that, right?
Right.
They prey on the weak and they fade to the strong.
They
Okay,
sure do.
we got to keep going here. We got Baby Stay Flow. You getting 2 questions back to back? That's selfish. Okay, we got
We're here for it.
Cooper Cup, Chris Olave.
Okay.
Oh my God, Chris Olave is my guy. He was my number one target last year. He kind of let me down, but I bounced back because as much as I don't like Derek Carr, no Michael Thomas, he's a single hyper target, super monster, and I think third-year breakout. So, but Cooper Cup, Triple Crown. I don't know, Jacob. What do? You pick, and I will try and argue with you.
So I love this question, and it's crazy that you have to bench one of them. I feel for you. That's awful because these guys are going to be studs this week, right? But I'm going with Cooper Cup. I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid that he's healthy, that Stafford loves him again. He's going to be a huge part of this offense. There was some noise that he's going to be the number one over Puka now that he's healthy. We'll see. Like we want to see it, but I love this matchup. I am so pumped for this Rams-Lions game in Detroit tonight. Like that's going to be must-see TV. Get your popcorn ready. Like it's going to be exciting. Goff versus Stafford. Cooper Kupp's back. He's healthy. I think that he gets a minimum of 10 targets, and like 130 plus yards. Like he's going to be a huge part of this offense. I think that Puka and Kupp just run up the target numbers, make history, at least for like this season, if not this game, for like the most targets for any two wide receivers in a game, dating back to Terrell Owens and Jerry Rice back in the 90s, or you know what I mean? Like, so
Throwback.
Yeah, yeah. So I really like Cooper Cup. Needless to say, I still like Olave. I just want every piece that I can from this Lions Rams game tonight.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think maybe separate matchup, separate game. There's a way I could lean Olave, but
Mhm.
you're right. This is if it's this or this, and your guys playing on Sunday night, it's the Sunday night guy, right?
Yes.
Lions secondary got torched last year. They drafted 2 rookie corners. They
Hmm.
might be good. Who knows? They probably won't be good right away, and they're not
Right.
good enough to stop Cooper Cup. I know
No.
Panthers secondary, right, isn't supposed to be good, but they were like top 3 in yards allowed last season, right? They
Yeah.
shut down a lot of good offenses just because the run D was so bad. So I'm a little wary of that. Joe Horn's good. Olave
Yeah.
sometimes if they double team him, right? Sometimes you never know. They just double team the number one guy and he's taken
Right.
to the offense. That happens
Right.
to Justin Jefferson a lot. So yeah, Cooper Cup all day and just have
Hmm.
fun. And what a team!
Absolutely.
Hopefully that's like a 12-man league. You're just going to win the title anyway. So
I know. My goodness, that is a good problem to have there, and a scary one, but that's a good problem there.
okay, we got to keep going, keep going. Steve Friday, what up? KC will some targets from Rice go move to Worthy going forward.
I don't think so, Steve. I think that they'll both get a healthy complement of targets, and I think that Rice will keep
Well,
getting 10 plus
still,
targets, right? Yeah, like I don't think it's going to fluctuate much. Like I think like Rice is locked into those targets because like they love to throw to him, like screens and just like short passes and let him get those
Lance,
yak yards, right? Yeah.
Lance City, right? It's like,
Yeah. And that those short passes to Rice opens up to Worthy. So, like I just think it's just a part of their game plan to get them both involved, to get Rice involved early, a ton of short passes to set up Worthy long. So I'm not worried about Rice at all. I'm not worried about Worthy at all. Like this is going to be a fun offense to watch all year.
yeah, I think it's like if there's 10 passes, 8 go to Rice, 2 to Worthy. Maybe it goes to 7-3, but it's not going to go 6-4, right?
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, goddamn chief receivers. Okay,
I
we got to
know.
keep going. We got to move. We got to move. Okay, what do we got here? We got trades. We got trades. Love trades. Love
Let's
trades.
go.
Got offered Amon and Ray Rice. Okay.
Ray
For,
Rice? That's a blast
oh,
from the
sorry.
past.
Receivers. Yeah.
Rashi, yeah, Rashi.
For Brees and Diggs. Okay. Do you take it? Running backs for Brees, Duchesne, and Montgomery. Watch Puka, DK, Diggs. Good team. For me, it's a no-brainer. I do not want any part of Diggs. So as much as I love Brees and Brees is a superstar, O line's improved. He might be the best player in fantasy. He comes with an anchor with luggage. Don't trust the luggage.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, you get him on Raw, you get the most stable. He's like buying gold, and then you
Yep.
get Richie Rice, which is like Ethereum when it's booming or whatever, something cooler. Um,
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
trade for sure. But yeah, dumping Diggs.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Like it's going to hurt to lose Brees Hall, but to get Amon-Ra St. Brown, who could be a top 3 wideout receiver, like you said, he's just extremely safe, a lot of upside. He is like the quintessential foundation that you want on your team. And then to get Rashee Rice on top of that, after what we saw on Thursday, and after just how he's not going anywhere, like all of his legal issues are being pushed to next season. So if we're talking about like this season, I think I mean, to have Amon-Ra, Puka, DK, and Rice, that's an amazing wide receiver core, and you can stick Rice in your flex, because it's a three wide receiver league makes this a smash for me.
I was just gonna
Just
say
because,
that.
yeah, like you can start all those wideouts every week and still have a solid running back core of A-Chain and Monty. Like I love that, so I would smash that.
Yeah, 2 wide receiver league. I'm probably doing Brees. I think the
Yes.
PPR half PPR doesn't really matter because Brees Diggs are going to both be good in both, so they kind of just
Right.
neutralizes it. Super fun trade.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, it's just getting in on those offenses. But I like all the offenses, right? I want to be on the Houston offense, but
That's right.
I don't want Diggs. Okay, we got to go. We got to
No.
wrap up soon, so we got to just keep going,
Okay.
keep going. Gabrielle Martinez Vale, we got 2 of the same questions. We'll figure this out. Help. Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, no brainer, right? One's getting sauce and one's going to be in the DJ booth, if that even makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, DJ Moore all day. Ayuk, right, limited snaps.
Yep.
Plus, he's getting Sauce Gardner. I mean,
Yep.
I would bet. I would for me it'd be like Rome Odunze or Ayuk for this week, right?
Yeah, I mean, like Ayuk, he's not playing his full snaps, like you said. Like DJ Moore is a smash here, just because we just don't know what Ayuk's usage is going to look like. So if we have a great alternative in DJ Moore or someone like that, I'm definitely doing that.
Oh, and she's reading our mind. So then she goes. She realized her question was obvious, so now it's
Okay.
Ayuk or Kirk. We're
All right.
downgrading already, Gabrielle.
No,
All
that's a
right, you're ahead
lot
of the game.
closer. That's a lot closer. This question right here.
Not for me.
Not for you. Okay. This is so close that I'm going to go with the matchup here, and I think that you would agree with me. I think I would go with Christian Kirk here if I have that option, and I want a piece of that Jaguars Dolphins game, and Kirk is his number one target. We know that he's going to play all the snaps that Ayuk. We just don't know if he's going to play a quarter of it, half of it, 3/4 of it. We just don't know. So if we have a viable option with a great matchup in Kirk, I'm leaning that way.
Yeah, I think we both love Ayuk. I have him in
Yeah.
leagues. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I can't wait to play him all year. But
Absolutely.
we've seen when players hold out, when they're not, they start slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it works, right?
Right.
It's like a preseason game. So for me, yeah, Kirk all day. I'm just trying to get out of this Jets Niners game. It's
Same.
tough to bench Ayuk. You probably spent an early pick on him, and then all of a sudden, now you're benching him week one. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But we'll work smarter, not harder.
That's right.
Okay, we got to keep going. Oh, this is my buddy Hambone. We're probably in the same league, so I might have to give him the wrong advice. The Night King. What should we do with the Green Bay wide receivers going forward? That is a question everybody wants to know the answer to, and it almost doesn't matter in the short term.
Right. Right. We touched on this earlier. I am benching them all if I can. The only one that I kind of trust is Jaden Reed because he gets manufactured touches on the line, and I'm sure that they'll try to get the ball in his hands like a Rashee Rice and just like throw short and just hope that he can get those yak yards. But for now, I'm not trusting any of them. So just Jaden Reed for me, if you have to.
Yeah, and then long term, let's say Love's 3 to 4 games. I mean, I got Jaden Reed as a wide receiver 12, top 12 wide receiver after that game. I mean, he locked in. Dobbs was dropping passes. Wicks was out. Christian Watson, they're kind of only using, maybe they're going to work him up, got a little gadgy, but red zone. I mean, Jaden Reed is but he's a stash now, right? He's essentially a 3-week stash until Love comes back. But so I'd be super disappointed, but also super stoked and mostly just confused.
Exactly.
Okay, Gab, we already got Ayuk or more. We already got you, Gabrielle. Steve, thank you. We got what do we got? We can go till 11:30, a couple minutes after.
Oh sure. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Okay, George play 01. Javonte or Brian Robinson, non PPR.
Now, does non PPR mean standard or half? I'm just gonna go with half then. Or
I think it means standard.
Standard. You're right. Ooh, this is a great question. So, right off the bat, I think I want to give Javonte a shot here, just with all of the reports saying that he's healthy. He has a pretty good matchup in Seattle. I don't know. This is tough, man. Where are you leaning, John?
I think PPR Javonte because he's the check down king. But I had him last year, and he had every game was 10 carries, 40 yards, no touchdowns. Right. It was just gross. Right. I like Brian Robinson a lot.
Yet, though.
Yeah, sure, but I like Robinson a lot, especially weather. If it's going to be raining, I think they're going to be handing it off. Sure, that O-line's bad. Tampa Rushy is usually pretty good. Ooh, yeah, that's tough. But I think if it's pouring, if it's going to pour, both are going to be 4:00 games. I like running backs in the rain. So I'd go Robinson, but it's close. It's close, but
we disagree. But it is essentially a coin flip. I would go with Javonte because he is healthier than he was last year. But Brian Robinson is probably safer. I would just go with Javonte. So who do you trust more, George? Do you trust me or John more? No, I'm just kidding. I know it's close. It's just
who do you trust really more? Is it Larry? Trust Larry, the weather guy.
Trust Larry. Yeah, right. Our weather guy. Let's go.
Okay, we actually got through all the questions. Okay, let's hope. Let me just make sure I didn't skip anybody. Boom. Okay, cool. So we got 2 minutes. Let me fire you some of my profits. Oh no, I wanted to get my. Okay, I have a gap from Barkley. A gap from because he scored so many touchdowns. Okay, so ceiling floor. Yeah, well, really, you just need a couple points. You're gonna be fine. You got 3 touchdowns from Barkley. What do you give you? 35 points.
Right.
You're probably
Yeah, I think
set.
you're
Do
sitting
whatever you
pretty
want.
with Barkley.
Yeah. What do you? I got James Cook rushing yards, rush receiving. You like that today?
How many yards?
61 rushing, like 85 rush receiving.
Okay. I like the 85 total. I think he hits that against Arizona. Arizona does not have a very good defense.
No.
Buffalo's at home. Like a recipe for a great game for Cook.
Yes. Okay. I don't know. JSN, I got to check his yards, but I bet they're probably what, 58 or even that high, maybe 52.
I like that. I think we both like that tonight.
Yes, gosh. Oh, yes. I can't wait. What else did I love? Oh, this is Justin. Oh, okay. I'm gonna get. Was there a question here? Okay, one more. Justin Jefferson, 81.5.
81.5. Oh man, that's tough. I don't trust any Vikings receivers, but I will. If I'm going to trust anyone to get 81 yards, it's gonna be Justin Jefferson's because he's just quarterback proof. So I'd feel pretty confident about that. I think it's gonna be close. I think he does score today, and he gets around 80 to 90 yards. So I'd feel much better about the over than I would the under. That's for sure.
Okay, at Justin Jefferson, I smashed him, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. Do you think rookie debut? 64. Okay. It got bet up.
I'd smash that.
Yes. Okay.
He's a rookie and anything can happen, but I'd smash it.
Yeah, DeMar Hamlin's on him. That's not going to go well. Okay, no. we're gonna do one last question. Then we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna get ready for the games. All right. I can't even. Reggie? I don't know how to pronounce that. Full PPR. Kyron or Shane? Great question.
Ooh.
That is Magic Beans versus the Boat or the Mystery Box. They're both mystery boxes. Both games you want to get in. I can't.
This is a literal coin flip. Regagigas. This is a literal coin flip.
I don't know what to do. I'm probably gonna go Kyron because I know he's getting probably the carries. I love that game. Nope, I'm flipping. I don't want Kyron. I don't want that Lions rush D. They are elite.
Plus, that's fair. That's fair.
Plus, he's not really great in the receiving game. We're going mystery box full of Magic Beans. We're going to chain, fastest guy in the world. Let's ride.
I'm also going with the upside of A Chain in an incredible matchup. Super efficient. I'd rather have that lottery ticket with A-Chan, and that he's going to get passing work as well. The full PPR just tilts it slightly in A-Chan's favor. So yeah, it's very close though, but
it was close. Now it's no brainer for me. Yeah, give me a chain. Plus, you don't know how many games he's going to get to, right? So start your mystery boxes. Okay, we're going to wrap up because we got an hour and a half till kickoff. We still got a lot to do. Jacob, this is the best non-hour of football I've had all week.
Right? Absolutely, man. All right, well, let's wrap us out. This was the Fantasy NFL Today show with my host here, John. You can find us all on Twitter at Ethos Fantasy NFL. You can find me on Twitter at Ain't Done Yet. And done is spelled D-U-N-N-E. And where can they find you, John?
At Jamo Sales. Boom. And thanks, everyone. Thanks for all the questions.
Yes.
Feel free to check out us on Discord if you got more Start Sit questions. If somehow we missed you or you didn't see this in time, I'm going to go on Discord right now, answer some questions. Hopefully there's no crazy news that happens in the next 90 minutes. But man, Jacob, I'm gonna be messaging you throughout the day, letting you know how my bets are going, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Cheers.